Welcome back everyone to Blackthornprod. I'm Noah, and this is the third video in a series about the progress I make and the challenges I face while working on my new game project. This week has been a very interesting one for me and my puzzle platformer game. It started off pretty slowly. I felt quite unmotivated and uninspired, spending a lot of time procrastinating and struggling to stay focused. As you can see from this tweet I wrote on Monday night, my obvious mistake here was forcing myself to work when what I really needed was a day away from the computer. Game dev is just so exciting and interesting, but balancing it with other more relaxing activities, sports, and time with family and friends is crucial. Pretty obvious statements, but one I constantly forget to live by. Luckily, the day after I felt refreshed and got to work implementing some new features and mechanics to the game. First of all, I worked on that reveal mechanic I've been talking so much about. The one where the player basically controls a trail that reveals a dark, sinister, and dangerous other side to the world. So flowers are in fact spikes, and seemingly empty space hide deadly monsters. Of course, what you're seeing here is all prototype graphics. Like I did last week, I used basic squares, shapes, and crude sprites to quickly create levels and test them out. For now, I've made 27 levels with this mechanic. They're small, but with nice art and a few secret passages here and there. I'm sure the player will have an enjoyable, though scary time traversing this section of the game. This part should take place after the black and white levels where the player controls two characters. I think it will be a nice change, mixing up the gameplay a bit and offering something new and interesting. Again, my philosophy while creating these levels was to make them simple and short. I don't want this game to be too challenging, it's more about the story and providing the player with a new, interesting experience. Anyway, I then worked on some art for the first 6 reveal levels. This took quite some time because I needed to make sure everything in that scene had 2 versions, one when quote-unquote normal and another when it's revealed. So for example, this tree is white when the trail isn't hovering over it, but it turns black when the trail is over it. But making art was a nice break from working on levels, which is, for me anyway, more difficult and uses up more brain power. At least I could listen to some Avicii and Alan Walker while implementing the art. I'm happy with the game's visuals so far. It's different from my other games, a lot less cartoony. One small game I made in October of last year that led me to making this one was called The Other Side, and as you can see, the art is very different. I feel like the game is more atmospheric and mysterious looking like this, and that's the vibe I'm trying to go for. Of course, there's still a lot of work to be done on the visuals of each level, namely by adding some particle effects, little creatures that walk or fly around the platforms, as well as more objects that react to the player, like grass tufts or weird flowers that move underfoot. But I'll work on that later down the line. Those details are in no way a priority just yet. Anyway, other than all those reveal levels, I made some more black and white scenes. Quick recap for those who don't know what I'm talking about. These are levels in which the black character is only affected by anything that is black in the scene, and the white character is affected by everything that is white. And both are affected by gold-colored platforms and hazards. And so I created a gold player character that is affected by everything in the scene, so black, white, and golden pieces of the environment. Having a third character the player can switch to sure opens up a ton of possibilities for interesting levels and simple puzzles. I'm not sure yet how that will fit in with the story, but I'll figure it out. However, due to my current, very messy C# code, implementing this third character was a huge headache. I faced a ton of bugs and problems, from the third character moving when he's not supposed to weird physics and slippery floors. I faced that classic fix one issue and create 2 more. So yeah, for now I put that idea of having 3 characters in the same scene on pause. I'll definitely return to that later though. And when I do, I'll need to clean up some of my messy code. Not looking forward to that, but it will be worth it. I'm sure I can create some really cool stuff with a third character. I then tried making some levels with just a golden and dark character, but that wasn't very interesting and I couldn't figure out any cool levels with those 2. I also tried making levels where both characters move and jump at the same time, but again I couldn't come up with many great levels. Lastly, I thought it would be nice to have a part of the game where the player controls a character from a top-down perspective. I imagined a few simple levels and then thought it might be cool to have some action top-down shooter sequence with the players shooting projectiles that reveal that dark other side, as well as destroy sinister enemies. Not sure yet if these ideas will end up in the final game though. For now I'm just going to focus on the reveal and black and white mechanics, keep the project simple and be able to polish it nicely, instead of turning it into a huge, daunting beast full of features that don't really fit in with my intended experience. So as you can see, despite a slow start, it was a pretty good week. I feel motivated and I'm excited to keep working on this game and getting your feedback. This week I was playing the amazing game Fez, a beautiful puzzle platformer with a unique world that at first glance looks 2D, but that can be rotated around, revealing it to be 3D. And playing this has been so inspiring to me. I'm so happy that I'm also working on my own little world at the moment. And that thought that I'm making my own world was comforting and motivating. I can really feel myself improving as a developer while making this game. I'm facing challenges, setbacks, design and coding problems that I've never had to deal with before, not during any game jam or any of my previous projects. And though it's not always a very enjoyable experience, it's one I know I'll be proud to have lived through later on. Now, last week I showed you all how I had removed dozens of levels that forced the player to control both characters at the same time, instead of switching between them. As I had said, the reason I did this was because for new players like my brother who playtested the game, controlling two characters at the same time was a bit frustrating and difficult. But reading through these amazing comments, so many of you liked the idea of controlling two characters at once, and lots suggested I add these levels as optional bonus content to the game. And I think that's a great idea. I'll make sure the game can be enjoyed and completed without going through these. But for the more dedicated players who enjoy quirky controls and a good challenge, I'll add these in somewhere. Not sure where yet, but they'll be there. Perhaps found via a secret passage or something. Now, next week I'll be working on the art for the reveal levels, as well as clean up my code to add that third golden player character, and make some levels with him there. Fixing code will be a struggle, but other than that, should be a great week. With that said, thanks so much for watching this video. Here's also an extra big thank you and shout out to these awesome people who support Blackthornprod financially via Patreon. Oh, and just before I leave you, I wanted to announce that the second Blackthornprod Game Jam is going to take place in roughly 1 month and will last 1 week. So from the 23rd of February to the 2nd of March. For lots more info about this event, check out the official Game Jam page I created on itch.io. If this game jam is anything like the first, and it will be, it's going to be absolutely epic and I'm so excited for it. And also, sorry for that failed livestream I tried doing on Thursday night. It turns out my internet connection isn't that great, which explains the severe lag and buffering. I'm trying to fix these technical issues and I'll attempt another live sometime in the near future. Okay, stay tuned, cheers.